Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Kingdom Hearts 2 Critical Mode video walkthrough. This is the Olympus Coliseum revisited, and I believe this is an optional part of the game. We're currently at the point where going back to each of the worlds gives us the opportunity to do some stuff inside of them. This is one of them. This is the cups that you can do in the Coliseum, but I have no wish to do the cups. I'm not bothered whatsoever. However, I think one of them is story related, so this is why you're going to see me do this. With the looks of that, I'm using the... I can't remember the name of this Keyblade. I know it's something Rose, and it's a pretty good one. But I think it's the one we got from going to Beast's Castle. And it's obviously the most powerful one we've got at this moment until we go to Halloween Town and revisit that area and take on a very challenging boss. So a couple of videos back, somebody asked me how I do that ground explosion with Sora. All that is a modifier on attacks, which means when you start doing your basic attack, if you press X once and then you press square when you have these abilities equipped, you can do a launcher, and Sora will attack once and then he'll knock them up, and then from there you can go into the air and combo them. If you do a few attacks and then you press square, he will end with another launcher, which is the area of effect one that you've seen me doing. And a lot of these techniques work in midair as well to do various attacks if you have them equipped. This attack right now, if you have Reflect, does massive damage to almost everything in the room, and you'll never have to worry about it again. But at this moment in time, I still don't have a decent enough respect for Reflect, which is absolutely disgusting when you consider just how powerful it is when you're not completely ignorant of it. But here is Hercules. He's having a bit of a tough time, and apparently I'm doing a couple of dialogue trees here, so I'm going into the underworld. That triggered a cutscene, which you just saw the transition from. I'm going to apologise in advance. There's parts of this game that are going to look really jarring when it comes to where we're going directionally, because the game just throws you all around the geometry with wanton, care for where you end up. And then she says, sorry, Meg tells us to hurry to Hades' chamber, and we have to go back through the Cave of the Dead. So, Cave of the Dead is going to be stacked full of Heartless. I'm going to be fighting most of the battles. I would implore you to skip a lot of stuff. Kingdom Hearts is one of those games where once you've done it a few times, you can feel free to rush past, because you can always make up the levels if you need them. And this is also a game where you don't really need them. You can beat this game at level 1. There's a lot of strategies that allow you to do things you really shouldn't be able to do at low level. But you can make it work, and that's one of the things that I've always liked the most. Just this ability to get things done. And that's one of the things that I don't like about Dragon Age Inquisition. That is a game where if you are a low level on that game, there is no skill on this planet that's going to enable you to get through some of those sequences, because it's literally, you come up against a spreadsheet, and if your spreadsheet isn't as impressive as theirs, you die. And there's very little of you that makes much of a difference. Difference? Just created a goddamn stupid word. Sounded like that guy on the shoe puff. Terribly, whatever he said. It's been too long. But there's going to be a little combat here, then we'll get to Hades' chamber, and I think we might have to fight Auron. But do you see the loot we're getting here? That's the great thing about this game. You're constantly getting stuff to level your Moogles up. You're constantly, feeding your alchemy, your crafting, which I think is a wonderful thing. I would just like it to be like Star Ocean, where there's a million ingredients and a million different things to make. Only have it create them the way Kingdom Hearts creates them, where you're almost guaranteed to get it, and it's not that RNG bullshit with Welch, which I never enjoyed. But this is a really fun game. I just wish that I knew earlier that leveling up drives got me the ability to quick run and dodge roll. Because having those abilities really speeds up Sora's momentum, and it really gives you an edge in battle that I just never really had for most of this walkthrough. I do think that's a funny enemy too, but it's such a beautiful game. I'm really curious as to how much time's going to have passed between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. Are they going to age Sora like they did for this, where they give him a couple of years growth? I say a couple of years, it was like 1, wasn't it? Maybe 1.5. But I always have this image. Can you imagine if it goes to when Sora's kind of older, and he looks a little bit, like what you imagine a Leon-esque Sora looking like, where he's still cartoony, but he's old? But I don't know where they would take the story from that point. Would they take it into kind of like a Terra territory? Where... Because Terra was kind of, you know, the troubled teen with discipline. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting, because I just think they've done the young style for a long time. They could go forward, but it's one of those decisions that it's very difficult to go back if they were to make such a jump. Like a little bit like with Riku. Riku aged a lot more than Sora on this one. He got a lot taller. And his hair got longer, and he just altogether looked a little bit more mature. But I have no idea where the storyline's going to go. I suppose only Tetsuya Nomura does, and his mind must be a massive, like, honeycomb of just craziness, because at this point the story barely makes any cohesive sense. It's like, oh, but Terranaut did this, and Xehanort did that, and Xemnas likes 2 sugars, and it's just all over the place. And you get all these people, it's amazing, like, oh, there's this bit of, you know, little fiction if you read in the journal from Birth by Sleep on the bonus ending in the secret episode of, you know, the second coming of Jesus Christ. You're just like, wow, guys. I appreciate you're really passionate about it and you know all that stuff, but some of it's just dumb as tits. It really is. Like, why does Xemnas have lightsabers? It's just stupid. And then when you read it, it's like, oh, he crafts the ethereal light into shafts of valiance. It's like, no, the fucking lightsabers. He's going to get sued. He deserves to be sued. And the irony is, in the next Kingdom Hearts, they can actually be lightsabers instead of that bullshit sleeve sabers that he's got that makes him look like some crazy version of Baraka from the future. But thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.